NVIDIA bought the company behind Slurm. It looks like just software, but it's a power move. Whoever influences Slurm influences how thousands of machines use CPU and GPU. And in AI, that becomes time, cost, and competitive advantage. To set the stage, on December 15, 2025, NVIDIA announced the acquisition of SchedMD, a company tied to Slurm's development and support. The main message was, it remains open source and vendor neutral. With that in mind, let's translate this into everyday reality. Before we talk strategy, we need to align on terms. A data center is a building full of computers. A cluster is a group of those computers working as a team, and each individual computer in the cluster is a node. That structure is the foundation for what comes next. Now, the core point. Many people think the competition is just who has the fastest GPU. But when you run a cluster, costs spike for two simple reasons: idle machines and machines being used the wrong way. This isn't theoretical, it's operational. And this is exactly where a key term comes in: scheduler. A scheduler is the cluster's calendar organizer. It decides who runs, on which nodes, with which resources, and in what order. Without that, it turns into manual fighting, waste, and unpredictable queues. With the scheduler introduced, it's worth understanding where Slurm fits in. Slurm is widely used in HPC. HPC means high-performance computing, large clusters and supercomputers used by research and industry. And increasingly, parts of large-scale AI also use this kind of environment. To complete the vocabulary, one more concept: job. A job is a task you send to the cluster to run, like training a model. Workload is the set of jobs an organization runs over time. When the workload grows, the queue becomes the bottleneck, and the scheduler becomes a critical component. So what does Slurm do, objectively? Three things: resource allocation. It reserves CPU, GPU, and memory. Queue and priority. It decides the order based on rules. Execution and control. It starts, restarts, logs, and manages jobs. That's why it carries so much weight. Now, how these resources relate. CPU is the general-purpose processor. GPU is specialized for parallel computation, which is why it's heavily used in AI. Memory, RAM, is where work stays open while it runs. If you allocate these three poorly, you pay more and deliver less. And as AI grows, another term shows up: distributed training. That's when training is split across multiple GPUs, sometimes across multiple nodes at the same time. For that to work, the scheduler must reserve resources in a coordinated way. If it can't, you lose efficiency and time. With that base, you can picture the before and after. Before, teams waiting, jobs competing, expensive GPUs sitting idle, and the cluster feels slow. After, with well-tuned scheduling, you gain predictability and real hardware utilization. The difference shows up in one question: how much does it cost to train this model? And this is where the acquisition makes sense. It's not about owning an app. It's about influencing the layer that decides how the entire compute fleet gets used. When someone dominates that layer, they can speed up integrations, standardize processes, and also pull the market in their direction. But there's an important detail. NVIDIA said Slurm remains open source. Open source means open code. You can read it and, in many cases, contribute. And it emphasized vendor neutral. Neutral to vendors, meaning not built only for one manufacturer. That changes how the community interprets the acquisition. From there, you can separate opportunity and risk. The good opportunity is straightforward: more investment, more engineering, more tools, and better integration for people running AI clusters. NVIDIA has the resources to accelerate evolution and reduce operational friction. But there's the classic risk: lock-in. Lock-in is when switching vendors becomes too expensive because everything starts to depend on one provider. Even with open code, dependency can grow if the best integrations, shortcuts, and standards work better on one side. To see why this matters, think about practical impact. At scale, the difference between a well-scheduled cluster and a messy cluster becomes real spending on hardware, energy, and engineering time. And as production AI keeps growing, the scheduler's weight only increases. And this also fits a broader strategy. Infrastructure sellers want to reduce friction. The easier it is to build, operate, and scale, the more customers buy. and the longer they stay. The announcement doesn't need to say that. The move suggests that direction. If this video helped you understand what's behind the acquisition, subscribe for technical analysis focused on real impact, not hype. And leave a like if this direct format works for you, because that helps the video reach more people interested in technology. And if you want to go further, share this with someone who works with AI, infrastructure, or data centers. Because in the end, decisions like this change how companies spend, how teams operate, and how projects scale over the next few years. To close, NVIDIA buying SchedMD isn't just corporate news. It's an attempt to gain influence at the point where the pain is real. Who runs first, with which resources, and what that costs. And the final question is straightforward. If the scheduler is the heart of the cluster, what changes when that heart becomes influenced by the largest GPU supplier? It's worth watching how this affects neutrality, integrations, and the operation of mixed environments.